Hey everybody, here's a quick training for all you marketing gurus out there that want to know what works and what doesn't. This is a training that's about what kind of content gets the most value. And value, as far as our business is concerned, is not whether a person likes it or not, but whether a person shares it or not. It seems to be a very powerful tool of Pinterest and Facebook to have your content reshared out there. And the more someone shares it, the more your network grows. Curate, and they studied over 500,000 photos on Pinterest. Now, what works on Pinterest is going to work on every other network because human beings are human beings, and there's going to be a tendency in every network. So we can learn from what they studied on Pinterest. So the first thing we look at is color. What colors cause the most interest? And here's one, a blue image versus a reddish or orange image. And we see that it's twice as many people share the red and orange colors than they do the blues and grays. Next one would be number of colors. If it's something that has a large number of vibrant colors versus black and white, you can probably guess that the dominant colors 3.25 times more shares and repins than black and white imagery. Lightness. If we go with a dark image versus a medium toned or lighter image, again, you can probably guess that the answer is going to be medium lightness, 20 times more shares than a dark image. Saturation means how much color is in the content versus a lower, lighter, or gray colors versus the saturation, the darker, richer colors. And again, probably pretty easy to decide or to determine that 10 times more people are going to like a saturated image versus a black and white. Aspect ratio. This one was also pretty obvious for me. Something that's long and tall versus something that's more rectangular or closer to square, a 2.3 aspect ratio versus a 2.3, and it's a 60% more shares. Background, something that has a tremendous amount of white space versus something that seems cluttered. This one was a little bit interesting because they actually say that less than 10% background, you get 2 to 4 times more pins than something that had a tremendous amount of white space. That one was a little bit surprising for me. I wouldn't think you'd get that much more shares for that, but that's the way it worked out. Texture is a complex texture or a smooth texture. Smooth texture wins 17 times more. Again, this one was a little bit surprising to me. I wouldn't have thought that would be that much difference, but 17 times more is a lot. And then something with faces was also quite a surprise for me. Something with faces or something without faces, 23% more if there's no face in the image. Very interesting stuff. Good to know when you're sharing things. If you have a choice between sharing something that has or doesn't have a face in it, something that's smooth or textured, something that has a tremendous amount of white space, something that has a little bit more angular square versus a tall rectangle, something that's saturated, something that's lighter, something that's color, and something that's orange versus blues and grays. So if you have a choice and you're sharing something, you now are smarter.